to just be yourself. If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize. Welcome back,
yes sir.
Hollywood Kev,
The
sir.
bad guys in the building.
Yes sir. Welcome back. Welcome back. Had to get my boy Nitty. Shout out to Nitty G.
Shout out to Nitty. Appreciate you, family.
UTC fan for filling in for Kev again. Apparently, he just doesn't want to be on the show anymore. He just didn't want to tell me, but it's cool. You know, it happens. I've had other people leave me before. You know, way more dramatic ways than you have.
Oh, really? Okay.
Instead of you know, kind of exposing me to all of our listeners by just not showing the fuck up. But you know, it's good. I ain't gonna. You know, I don't harbor too many hard feelings. Okay. Just know we're gonna have to get them up after this episode.
All right.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'm good. I'm here.
Yeah, happy to have you.
I'm here.
Happy to have you. At least till you leave again. Then we'll see what happens from there.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Me and Kev were talking earlier, and he's actually said he has a story to tell y'all. And, you know, you were listening to the last episode. I said if Kev wants to let you guys know why he wasn't on the show, that I'll give him that opportunity next week. I wasn't going to be the one to talk about what he had going on. So I am going to open that up to Kev. Before we get to that, one thing I'm very excited to announce, a few things I'm very excited to announce, actually. So, of course, this is award show season.
Yep.
You know, it's getting hot outside. It's getting beautiful. So everybody's flocking to L.A. to see all the stars. One thing that we're going to start doing here on The Noize, what we've really already been doing, but we're just going to make it a little more interesting. With award show season coming up, we announce our predictions for who's going to win. We're going to put a little bit of a twist to that. It's officially the head-to-head awards showdown for The Noize. We're going to announce our predictions for the nominations, and we're going to leave it to you, the listeners, the ear hustlers of The Noize, to decide the fate of the loser. Now, it's going to be some really good options, so make sure y'all choose wisely. Matter of fact, so this show comes out Sunday. We'll probably put it out the same day.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Put it out the same day. Let you guys have a look.
Give you guys a solid week to get everything in order.
We'll give you our predictions next week's show.
Next week's show, which is the Billboard Music Awards.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to put out the show earlier in the day. I think the award show comes on like around 7, like 6 or 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So you have time to listen to the show, hear our predictions. If you're going to watch the Billboard Music Awards, have at it and see, you know, who had the winning hand. But going back to what I initially said, we're giving you guys the power to choose the consequence for the loser. And trust me, we've come up with 5 really good consequences that y'all got to choose from. And we're going to record it all for everyone to see. It's going to be visible on the YouTube page as well as the Facebook page. Make sure y'all share it, do the whole 9, and whatever it is you guys choose, we have to do.
Yeah.
If it's embarrassing, is what it is. If it harms our body, is what it is. But the things we do for the goddamn ear hustlers, boy.
We love y'all, man.
We definitely love y'all. Y'all tune in every week and we appreciate it. So this is kind of our thank you to you guys. You know, everyone gets pleasure out of pain for some reason.
Yeah. Some way or another, they like it.
So let me just make sure this is in the atmosphere already. I'm going to fuck you up with all of these challenges, sir. I'm going to come through with the meanest predictions. They're going to understand that Big Los is not going to do any of these things that's on this list.
I think you taking an L, bro.
I doubt it.
You taking an L.
There's too many people that want to see me fall. There's too many people. I refuse to fall for my oppressor.
Well, you taking an L next week for sure.
That's some bullshit. But we're going to see what happens. Like I said, look out for it. If you're listening to this episode, you can actually go to the Beat Network Facebook page, facebook.com/Beat Network 1, and you can vote under the Survey Monkey survey.
Yep.
Just click on the link and go on there and see what's the challenge for us.
Yep. And also share it too. Since you're there, might as well.
Definitely share it. Tell your people about it. It's some shit on there that y'all are going to want to see, especially if you know us personally.
You're definitely going to want to see Los do a lot of this shit.
You're going to want to see Kev embarrass the hell out of himself.
Nah.
There's a lot of Las Vegas strip involved. Let's definitely say that. Another thing I'm excited to announce is this is probably going to be the last episode for some time that we dive into in depth a lot of things that's going on in the entertainment industry or in the world as we normally do. We got a string of interviews coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm super duper excited to announce. I've talked about it on multiple shows, especially when it comes down to being your own boss, being your own brand. We have Rich Murphy of RM Clothing on the show next week.
Yes, sir.
He's going to tell us his story. He's going to motivate y'all to get off y'all asses and do something if you're not already doing something. And if you are doing something, he's going to help you level up, because this brother is on a completely different level when it comes down to the independent fashion industry.
Onward and upward. That's where we at.
He's doing his thing, bro. I finally got my Supreme Being shirt. If you see me on Facebook, that is my profile pic, because the shit is sweet.
Yep.
I was just in the gas station the other day, and I want to say he's Hispanic, but I ain't gonna lie, he may also be Indian.
Okay.
Now, I don't mean Native American. I mean like legit
Indian.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole nine.
Gotcha.
And he was checking out the shirt, and he was just like, that's a dope shirt. Like, why is the RM in red? And I was like, yeah, you got to go to myrichmurphy.com. Like, I was putting on for the homie. You know what I mean? He's a Woo graduate, so, I got to put on for my people.
Absolutely.
So I'm super excited to have him here next week. He has a great story.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
All the interviews are going to be fun, so
Definitely.
Stay tuned. We're going to hit y'all over the head with some stuff, man.
It's a lot that y'all need to stay locked in for, and I promise you, we're not going to let you down. That was really all of the updates in a sense.
Yeah.
Of course,
Think so.
follow the Instagram at Beat Network.
Twitter page. Don't forget to like the Facebook page.
Definitely do that.
Share everything.
Subscribe
that
to
comes
the
from us.
YouTube channel, the whole nine, because it's plenty of content that's coming your way.
Yep.
It's a lot of reasons you need to be locked into what Beat Network is doing, because we got a lot of shit on the way, and I'm so happy. So happy about it.
I'm telling you, we're going to own this summer.
Oh, yeah. Say that.
We gonna
Say
own
that.
So.
So anyway, getting all of that announced, it was something you wanted to share with the Ear Hustlers, our extended family. What's good, bro?
Well, we'll just say, obviously I wasn't on last week's show. And the reason being, bear with me a little bit, but they done locked me up, man. They locked me up.
Instead of trying to find a motive.
Yeah. I
do what I do.
For the people that don't know, last Friday, the 5th, was indeed my birthday. Turned 28.
And we actually hung out. That's
yeah.
crazy. He actually hung out with his co-host
Shut
when he
up,
normally casts me to the side.
Shut up.
Had me looking like the side chick that wants some attention.
Shut up.
On Thanksgiving, on other major holidays.
But no, after I hung out with Los, I went and hung out with some family. Nothing too crazy. It was real chill. I was just happy. You know what I mean? I didn't need to completely turn up and become shit-faced and all that. I was just happy to be around my people. We went and played pool. Yeah.
We actually saw one of the baddest MILFs in Vegas at where we went to go play pool at.
Yeah.
If she wasn't, she was definitely top 3.
It had to be.
Easy.
But as my night with family came,
I'm sorry, not MILF, Cougar. That's what it is.
Cougar. I thought could have been a MILF too.
Yeah, but there's like 19-year-old mamas out there. So
I don't consider them MILFs. If you're 19 and you just got a kid,
by definition of the word, I would say that. The chick that we saw at the pool hall,
was a cougar.
Her kid was easily our age.
Could have been.
Maybe even like 2-3 years younger.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But she has some stretch of road on her for sure. But continue, sir. I'm sorry.
So after my night came with the clothes from family, say, you know what, I'm gonna go home. It's about 11:45, 11:50. Driving home. I turn, make my turn going home, and I notice this SUV behind me.
That's how they get you.
Didn't think nothing of it. SUV gets over in the right lane. That's when I noticed, oh shit, it's the police officer.
Was it an undercover?
No, it was a marked car.
It was a legit mark.
Yeah, I just didn't notice he was behind me until he got over so I can actually see his vehicle.
And I know you were drunk.
No, I wasn't.
Really?
I was not drunk.
You know what? You didn't drink that much of it.
I was not drunk at all. I planned on going home because I always had this phobia of something happening to me on my birthday. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna give these other drunk drivers a chance to get
right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And he gets over in the right lane, and right before he's finna merge onto the freeway, he comes to a complete stop. Now, mind you, I'm at a red light at this time. He gets right back over behind me. At that point, I knew I fucked up. Pulled me over. Had a couple of traffic warrants. I knew they were there, but shit happens. They didn't get paid.
Y'all black. Y'all know y'all got a couple tickets. They ain't goddamn paid.
Yeah, they didn't get paid. So he pulls me over. Now, at this time, I'm thinking, I don't have nothing else on my record. It's the first time I ever came into any major trouble. I'm thinking he's going to let me go. I was sadly mistaken.
Wrong color, sir. So
by 12:17, technically Saturday morning, I was in CCDC booking.
Okay.
Now,
You see how he chose to go like hang out with convicts and shit instead of coming to do the show.
Now, once I get there,
it's cool.
Once I get there, you know, when I'm talking to some of the other officers who are booking, and they see why I'm in there, and they were like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be here." You know what I mean? That even though I was there, it felt a little bit better knowing that these people that do this for a living was looking at this and was like, "Okay, we're way too overbooked. This is real petty. He should not be here for a ticket that's $400." You know what I mean? That didn't stop nothing when I was in there. So that happened. I went to booking CCDC. Now this is where it gets kind of interesting.
Okay.
Cause I'm in this holding cell, which is freezing, by the way. It had to be -2 degrees in that goddamn holding cell.
Yep. They all are.
It's about 15 of us, but the holding cell was pretty a decent size. So we weren't on top of each other.
That's where they're not all are. Okay.
But while I'm in this holding cell, it's nothing but homeless people and junkies. So you can just imagine the collective smells that are festering in this holding cell.
Oh, yeah. Takes you back to the box of death.
Now, mind you, there's a toilet in there. It has like a little barrier, so you got very minimal privacy. But, you know, I mean, if you got to take a deuce, you have a little bit of privacy. Didn't use a toilet, nothing like that. Spent about 12...
You just ass clenching the whole time, Paul?
Oh, I didn't have to use the restroom because I'm pissed off that I'm in there.
And that just restricted your bowels like that?
Basically.
Okay, well, there you go, folks. If you don't want to take shit, anger is the best. So it's definitely the best way to go.
So I spent about 12 hours in there. So it's about 12:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon. CO comes, gets me out of there, and I'm thinking going home. Oh, I was mistaken. I get transferred over to city jail.
Yeah, it's the weekend.
Now, city jail. Boy, let me tell you about city jail.
Different caliber of folks over there?
Different caliber of folks, but at the same time, not really. The dynamic of where you're housed is the different county. Now, the first holding cell, my only complaint was it was absolutely cold. It was big. We had a TV in there. I watched Star Wars all night.
And you had to take a shit looking eye to eye with a
Well, no, at that one, yes, but not really because they were like off to the side.
Okay.
Now, city holding cell. It's I want to say about 15 people in that holding cell I was in. And when I say that holding cell was probably smaller, if not around the same size as most of our listeners' living room. And there's 2 toilets, and they're right there. So if somebody got to take a shit, you staring dead at them in the face like I'm looking at you right now.
That's not funny, but
it was terrible. The food is horrible. People talk about, if you know anybody that's been in jail, whatever, they say the food is horrible. Believe them. I seen the thickest piece of bologna I've ever seen in jail. Ever. Now, mind you, I was
Did you get cheese, sir?
They had cheese, I want to say, but mind you, I didn't eat. When I was in jail, I got in there, the whole time I was in there, I had a slice of bread, an orange, 2 cookies, and like a little pastry dessert. That was my whole weekend. That's all I eat. Because it was that bad. Now, I'm in the holding cell, that's city. Luckily, I play ball with somebody who works on their medical staff. So he was able to speed my booking process up to where once my bail posted, I will be getting out a lot quick. Now, this is where the system, everybody knows that the system is fucked up.
Especially towards people of color, definitely.
This is where we know the system is completely fucked up. Now, I posted bail. I got in booking for city about 1:30. I was finished booking. Posted bail about an hour and a half, 2 hours later. I was not released until Sunday night. I had already posted bail. I spent the 24 hours in there and I already posted bail. What pissed me off was some of the other people that posted bail after me got out. And they were in there. Now, when you're in there, you seeing what people, you talking to other people, so you know what they're in there for.
You're getting stories, definitely.
You know what I mean? And by far, everybody that I've told the story to on why I was in there was like, bro, you should not be in here. People can look at me, even though I was the biggest person there, can see that I did not belong in that environment, from the inmates to the staff, everybody. So now I'm in this holding cell. You know, I'm in book. Now they have to get me to an actual cell. I have to go to general population. So they dress us out in those orange inmate jumpsuits.
Oh, you did you dig.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, they had to dress me out in the old, had to do the lift and cough and all that good stuff.
They got your ass, boy.
Yeah, had to do that. They put me in with the general population, and I get in there and I'm livid.
I can imagine.
You
just did the lift and cough.
I am livid. I am livid not only because I'm in there, but I'm lifted because they have their money. I should be gone.
Right.
Okay.
Like you got exactly what you got me pinched for.
Exactly. So they had me in there and they put me in a cell. My cellmates are pretty cool. It was an older black guy in there, 2 Hispanic dudes and a white dude. Okay, I'm on the top bunk and I ain't saying shit. What you in there for, man? Don't fucking talk to me. I'm pissed off. They kind of, told me how everything works and so on and so forth. Now, I believe for multiple reasons. And before I even get there, once they get me to like the general population, I am literally the biggest guy, height and size wise, on my tier. It was a tall, skinnier white dude who very well could have been a neo-Nazi. But he was old.
Likely.
He had tattoos everywhere, more tattoos I've ever seen. He was super old, super tall. Outside of that, I'm the tallest person in there. So really not nobody's trying to fuck with me. On top of that, I do have a boxing background. But I'm like, Kev, control your temper because you are going home. It's just a matter of when.
Right.
So I'm in there. They're telling me what is what. Now, mind you, they eat breakfast in jail at 3 a.m. They eat breakfast, and then whatever they have in between, and you have lunch at 10, dinner at 4. Okay. I wasn't eating anything. So people, especially my cellmates, were already cool with me because they getting that extra food.
Right.
For breakfast that night that I actually was in the cell, they had waffles, orange juice, and the orange. Now, when I see these waffles, I'm like, you can't mess up waffles. Oh, Sally mistaken.
Yeah, jail can burn cereal, bro.
These waffles, I ate a bite of these waffles and damn near threw up. So I was just like, yeah, y'all got this. I'm good.
Y'all got it.
Went back to my cell, went to sleep. Lunch comes around. Now, for lunch, they had what looks like a combination of stroganoff hamburger helper mixed with bologna. Like it honestly looked like throw up. It truly did.
Okay. The mystery slop, as it's normally called.
You guys can have that as well. For dinner, we had chopped up bologna and half cooked rice with green beans, old and new, and a couple of cookies. Drank my milk, ate my cookies. That's all I had.
Got your vitamin D and your vitamin C for the day.
Exactly. Okay. I knew, being that I'm health conscious, I knew long as I can eat the fruit, you know what I mean, and I know I'm getting out of here, I'll be fine. Didn't use their showers, I will say, when you go to the bathrooms in jail, that shit is just like the movies. The shower is exactly like, but they have them separately, but the shower is just like the movies. Didn't use a shower. I was like, y'all gonna smell this must. I'm getting out. Fuck y'all. But the bathrooms, when I use the restroom, when I say every sense is heightened. Oh, yeah. A motherfucker can cough silently to himself, and you like, what you doing? You know what I mean? It wasn't the movies, they got it kind of right. They got it right. I don't think they have it wrong in the movies is that whole booking shit. That shit is completely wrong. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Atlanta, how he went to jail and he was it ain't happening that way.
Yeah, none of that.
Outside of that, everything else is pretty much the same. There wasn't no gay shit going on when I was in there. At least to my knowledge. There was, I guess when I got in there was some dude, they call him Tootsie Roll because he was basically twerking and Tootsie Rolling for coffee. If you got coffee in jail, you're Bill fucking Gates.
I thought it was cigarettes. I thought that was the go-to. Now it's coffee. It's caffeine.
It's coffee. Wow. If you have coffee, if you got commissary, you're good. But if you have coffee,
Kev, how well did you know Tootsie Roll, sir?
I didn't talk to him or nothing like that.
Okay.
I didn't talk to nobody but my cellmate and the older black guy.
And was it Tootsie Roll?
No.
Is the old black guys he Tootsie Roll?
No. The old black guy, ironically, he was getting out the same night as me.
Oh, okay.
But if you have coffee in there, you are really Bill Gates. And the killer part about it is it's not like no damn Starbucks, bro. This is coffee grounds in a cup mixed with water. Black. No sugar, no nothing.
You got to remember, this is the same place where they make tattoos out of like toilet paper and
but none of that was going on.
You know
the tier that I was on was the non-violent tier. Now, granted, just because it's a non-violent tier doesn't mean people can't get violent.
Right.
It's non-violent tier. Like our cells, we had a little button. They were constantly open. You can come in, you go as you please, unless they were doing like a lockdown. People had stuff in their cells. I mean, if somebody really wanted to make a weapon in that particular, they could.
They could, right.
You know what I mean? But it was very minimally secure. It was just a bad experience, man. It was just, I think I was more embarrassed. I was more embarrassed because I knew I didn't belong in there. out of all my friends, some of them that I knew that maybe had went to the drunk tank or something one night, I had never experienced nothing like that. So for me to kind of now be in the system, I was more embarrassed than anything. You know what I mean? I was like, my mother was wigging the fuck out.
Yeah,
she wasn't even mad at me. She was wigging. Nobody was really mad at me because they understand that cop was truly on some fuck shit.
Yeah, he's trying to make the quota.
And the killer part about it was, I can tell, now being that I work security, I know we had to work closely with police. So I know their shifts. He had just got on his shift an hour in. When he put me in the back of the car, we sat there for about a good 5 minutes because he was just texting people. Just chilling, texting people. You know what I mean? He was trying to make his day go by faster. By the time we got to booking, he didn't leave to go back on patrol until about 4:30. By that time, he only had 2.5 hours left on his shift. He was just trying to kill time.
Yeah, you just helped him make majority of his quota by that booking.
Exactly.
Because especially when people post your bail, that's the money towards the city that he had to make in the night.
Exactly.
So of course I would do the exact same thing if I was one of these crooked ass pieces of shit.
Yeah, I honestly believe even outside of him being white, if I would have had any other cop, no matter the race, I guarantee I would not have went to jail that night.
More than likely.
The good thing that I can come from all this is don't have any warrants. You know, I do have a court date, which everybody that I spoke to said it 9 times out of 10 is going to get tossed out. I don't have to really worry about anything, so that's cool. I will say being in there gave me of a more perspective, like how much a little situation can blow up. And then even with the little situations, don't even let them get to a certain point where they have to blow up. You know what I mean? Like having road rage, little shit like that, it calmed me down a lot. I was always grateful. I became a lot more grateful. It was just a bad experience. I don't recommend anybody going to jail. Don't do it. It especially if put it this way, the next time, if ever I had to go to jail again, I didn't murder 8 people.
Okay, so just kind of incriminated yourself, but that's cool.
No, I'm saying
that's good. No, that's cool
because I know I'm never going to murder 8 people.
I would never tease Hollywood Kev on this show again. I don't want to be number 4 of 8.
That's the dynamic of it. It really is a bad place to be in, and then you really get to see how the system is designed to truly break people. You know what I mean? You really get to see some of the charges that me and some of the people in the holding cell were talking about were very minute. There was one person that it was a boy, but dressed like the girl.
Transgender?
Yeah, now I don't want to say transgender because you can tell.
Cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's too many goddamn adjectives attached to this. But yeah, okay.
They were in the holding cell with us, and he said he got arrested for disturbing the peace. Spent a weekend in jail for disturbing the peace.
Wow.
So this is very minute stuff. One of the guys, he's not even from out here. He was in there for battery, but it wasn't even the way he explained it. Didn't sound like battery. He said him and his son were just drunk on the strip downtown. It was first Friday, just wrestling. Cops came and locked them both up. He's from Phoenix. I was like, wow, that kind of sucks.
Right, that's his whole weekend in Vegas.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? It was just very pointless stuff. The only thing that kind of kept me by was knowing that my support system at home, friends, family, everybody, didn't look at me any differently. I knew they didn't just leave me hanging.
Yeah, it was tickets. Yeah. Now, when you kill those 8 people.
Exactly.
Maybe.
That's something different. That's something different. You know what I mean? And the fact that I knew certain people in there that helped speed that process along. You know what I mean? So that's where I was at. That was my weekend. I hope Los was able to entertain you guys because we know he can't do much without me, but
I could do a whole goddamn show, actually. Done a few of them shit.
Show was,
actually.
Cool. Nick, you only did 2 shows without me.
That's a few, motherfucker. Well,
and one of them wasn't my fault.
It's a couple.
One of them wasn't my fault. You left out of town.
Look here. Just because you and Tootsie Roll got close don't mean you got to come at me all motherfucking crazy.
No,
I understand. Emotions are high. You got disconnected from your people. So I feel it. It's cool. Listen, Tootsie Roll will be out as well as the Disturbing the Peace nigga. You'll be fine.
If you would have saw this dude that they was calling Tootsie Roll, like when I was like, what? That shit was hilarious, bro.
Wow. So outside of him twerking for coffee.
I didn't see I didn't see him twerking for the coffee.
Twerking for coffee.
They said my cellmate had told me he had did that like a couple days prior. And I knew something was up because the first night we had came out for breakfast. They was asking me, yo, you want some more coffee? Like it's other people in there trying to see this man do it. And I'm like, why would you want to see that?
Dude, it's just like Atlanta where they said, oh no, that's not gay, that's prison.
Yeah. It was just a lot of stuff in there. It's a big dude in there named Chef. And this nigga can't cook nothing.
Does he look like Chef from South Park?
No, he's big. He's a black dude. He looks like he eats a lot, but and it's just crazy. I guess when you're in there for so long, you start to lose your taste buds. Because when I say I'm passing up my food, My cellmate and another guy almost fought over who was getting my food.
Goddamn.
Like, I'm like, y'all fighting over this shit? Really? Like, it was horrible.
They probably had a little more time in there than you, though.
Yeah, a few of them, my cellmates, it was 2 of them getting out the same night as me. But they had already been there a couple of months.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was
you were in for real general population.
Yeah. It was another guy, the two Hispanic guys. One of them still had 3 months left. Another one had 90 days left. So they was in there. It was just a more, I was more mad because I knew they had got their money.
Right.
Damn the fact that I'm in there. Okay, you got me on a warrant, cool, whatever. But the fact that you guys got your money, it should not take this long. And what killed me was it'd be different if they got their money and for whatever reason they weren't seeing it in their system. When I was asking the guards, like, hey, did my bail post? It was like, yeah, it post. We're just waiting for you to get released. You got it. You ain't got to wait for me to get released. You can let me outside right now.
Bruh.
I can Uber. You can let me out right now. And then you find out how much money they make.
Oh, yeah. That's the main thing. Cash is king there,
every
bro.
24 hours, they make $2,500 per person.
Wow.
It costs $150 just to feed, house each person. So they're making a killing off that. Now, we have found one of my cellmates had caught wind that he was trying to figure out basically if we had to get waited for a transport van. They were moving slow. And he said that he went to go talk to the lieutenant, and the lieutenant said, the reason we have to transport you is because we get paid to drop you guys off. They get paid $1,500 per person they drop off. If that wasn't the case, if you made bail, they could have just let me out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was a little bit past 10 minutes away from downtown. But he was like, they want that money. Right. So just off me alone, they probably made a good $5,000 for those 24 hours I was there. You know what I mean? It was just a bunch of bullshit. So don't go to jail for kids. Don't do it.
And I understand, you coming out with that mindset, you just more appreciative of things. And, when we dealt with the bullshit we had to deal with in Ohio, which is just where we were in Ohio, was incredibly racist. You get out a hole and you just kind of, you feel better about it. But then once it continuously happens, you develop that, fuck these niggas attitude. You know what I mean?
You truly do.
It immediately comes, And actually I was just watching, I was telling you about it outside, the Hip Hop Evolution documentary on Netflix. Definitely go check that out. If you're a hip hop fan, do that. It's amazing. Ice Cube was talking about what inspired him to write Fuck the Police. And he was saying how Dr. Dre, who was obviously the least gangster of all of them,
right,
he was getting locked up every weekend for something different dealing with the police. Now, it's surprising in Vegas to a lot of people, at least outside looking in. It's surprising in Vegas to know that we have police issues like that. But us living here, it's a 50-50 shot. It's like you said, had it been any other cop, no matter the color, you probably would have got off.
Right, exactly.
But because you got one of the 50%, you was going to do your weekend.
And I was talking to dude, cool. Like, I truly had it in my head. He's just finna let me go.
He's about to let you bounce, right?
We was talking, and I should have known something was up when he was like, where am I coming from? And I told him, I was like, yeah, just hanging out with family. It's my birthday. He looked at my ID. Oh, shit, it is your birthday. Happy birthday. Well, it's kind of not your birthday because it's about a few minutes past, so I'm going to ask you to step out the car. You motherfucker.
Wow. See,
that was verbatim what he said.
Bruh, he not.
You know what I mean? Man. So it's just
fuck that.
But yeah, you develop like you see it, and now I understand a little bit more. Like, have you ever seen like a movie or something like that, and you see somebody about to go to jail and they wigging the hell out because they don't want to go to jail? I understand it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because you look at it like, are you really about to do it? And when I say they treat you like an animal.
Oh, yeah.
They treat you like, in the system treat you like, because I had a couple of cool CEOs in there. What made me feel the best of that whole situation was the day I got released, we're coming to lunch. And this black CEO lady, she had to be about 42. She was probably one of them cougar milfs chick. She was bad. She looked at me, I turned the corner and we made eye contact. She was like, this was her word. She was like, I'm sorry, baby. I looked at your file. I know you're not supposed to be in here. You are on the release list. Just be patient with me. I am so sorry. I didn't speak to her. She spoke to me. So that lets me know it was sincere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She went out of her way.
Granted, she couldn't do nothing to speed up the process or anything like that. I knew it was sincere. You know what I mean? And then once the other inmates heard that and they asked, yo, so what happened? And I gave them, briefly what was going on. They was like, yeah, don't even trip. You're going to be out of here quick. But the fact that I was in there burned me
in general,
up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That burned me the hell up. So it was definitely a learning lesson. It was definitely hard being around people, even though you're getting out, to not be able to see people that you're used to seeing every day.
Right.
To have your phone call. I got a 25-second phone call.
Even in those, even in that short span of time, it fucks with you.
Yeah, it does
something to you mentally. And
it does.
So you can only imagine the cats that do the months, the years, you know what I mean?
The months, the years.
That institutionalized mindset is ridiculous, bro.
That shit is real. And the killer part about my whole situation was that was just jail.
Right.
I can only imagine what prison is like. You know what I mean? You're upstate. Even if you escape, nigga, you got 80-mile hike to civilization. You know what I mean? I can only imagine that. So again, don't go to jail. If you got tickets, do your best to pay them. And if you can't pay them, at least stay out of the way. Don't drive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just don't drive.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
We stay on the road. Life's dirty as a motherfucker.
Yeah. So.
But again, man, I'm it sucks that you went through that experience, but I'm glad it didn't turn out to be something worse.
Me too.
Because as you see, cops truly don't give a damn about our lives.
Nope.
And the fact that he did you like that, even made mention to the fact that it was your birthday and it had like a little pun to it. You know what I'm saying? That lets me know he truly didn't care about you. So I'm glad that the worst of it all was you losing your weekend on your birthday.
Me too. And that just means, you know what? Like everybody outside that have talked to me, just make it up. So, you know what I mean? I'll have one of these weekends where we out turning it up. I don't know if Lo's going to be invited since he feel like the step side chick. So
I no longer feel like the step side chick. Now I believe Tootsie Roll is the step side chick.
I feel bad for that guy.
Why? He got all the coffee.
No, the reason I feel bad for
he
that
got the
guy
currency.
is because
he got the juice.
I don't know. I had seen he was on like the upstairs basically, and then he was moving his stuff to like the cell next to us. I think he paid people with his commissary for protection. Like somebody probably was definitely trying to get them cheeks. Put it that way.
But hey, he got the juice.
He do.
It's too much sauce. Again, glad to have you back, brother.
Yes,
moving on to other white people that just don't get it. Of course, by this time, everybody knows that Betsy DeVos, the one that feels that HBCUs are pioneers of school choice that we really didn't have because of this weird thing called segregation.
That thing.
She did the commencement speech at Bethune-Cookman University's graduation this year.
Why would that school
of
even
all
have
people?
Her...
They were better off getting Rachel Dolezal.
Really? I mean, honestly, they were. Of all schools, that one, really?
Now, what's so dope about it, and one thing I just truly love about black people, because we truly have zero fucks left to give after all the stuff we done gone through. All the students, all the black students, which was the school, the HBCU, all the students, they stood up and they turned their back on her. Parents were applauding. Some of the administration was applauding. It was super duper dope. And to me, especially being a graduate of an HBCU, the oldest private HBCU, 1856, Wilberforce University, holla at you.
Shameless
plug, you know. Anyway, being a graduate of an HBCU and seeing the voice that the current students and students from my time, you know, from my school, the way that they use their voice to generate a change, bro, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because this is the stuff that our ancestors did to make sure we're good. It sucks that we're not to that point where we're just good. We're just accepting them. Exactly.
But
the fact that the fire still, boils in our blood, that's super dope. Now, here's one of the issues I have with Betsy DeVos. Now, with her, she was the one that was in the picture in the Oval Office with her feet all up on the couch, and of course that struck every black child that got hit with that switch for putting their feet up on any kind of furniture in my mama crib. The fact that she has this super weird, jaded view of HBCUs, and then you extend the invite for this woman to, out of all things, the commencement speech,
right.
she could have just been there just to understand the pride that goes into HBCU education. She could have just been there, but the fact she was the one that's giving me the speech on my way out, I don't want to hear shit you got to say. I'm turning my back.
And I'm on my way out? Fuck
exactly.
you.
So, now, here's the crazy part. You would think, now, a lot of times in college, people will use your degree against you. They're like, okay, you do this, you're not going to graduate. You do this, you're not going to walk, yada, yada, yada.
They legally got to give you that certificate.
True. If you completed all of your credit hours, that's very true. Now, the fact that we have the physical representation of Uncle Ruckus in the school's president, Edison Jackson.
Edison sound like an Uncle Ruckus.
Exactly. Sound like some Uncle Ruckus shit, right? And then got the blackest of black last names. So during the speech, he tells the students, if this behavior continues, your degrees will be mailed to you. Choose which way you want to go.
Well, they're going to be mailed. I'll take that.
Right, I already chose which way I'm going. I'm turning around. Like, I already found my way. Trust me. There's no conversation that needs to be had here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be threatening with it'll be mailed to you. Okay, that's cool.
So I'm still get it.
That's cool.
All right.
And the killer part about
my parents, they still got this picture of me walking across stage, right? Cool.
And the killer part about that is we're in a digital age. So if I had to show you proof of documentation that I graduated and have a degree, I can do that. I don't have to have this certificate to do that.
You know what's even funnier? Just coming from Wilberforce University. Actually, both of my colleges, even the Academy of Art, and that's not a HBCU at all. I got mailed both of them.
I honestly thought they were mailed.
Yeah, to me, that's the norm. Now, I didn't know you
mailed.
actually get your degree at the graduate. I didn't know that. So that was a new thing to me. So I'm like, where's the threat?
Right, exactly. I thought they were mailed. So I'm like, okay, you just going to do the normal shit? All right.
And like I said, there's a different pride in historically black colleges because of what they had to do to become an establishment of education.
Exactly.
Like my school, prime example. When we were open, of course, there were lynchings and there were attacks on the school.
There were lynchings at your school?
It's 1856.
Oh, back then. I thought you
recently.
No,
but
say, what the hell?
No, but I mean, even speaking to my own experience, fast forward to when I got there in 2007, somebody burned a cross.
Wow.
On the front yard. There was this guy. He was on the back of a pickup truck. And they were driving back and forth, and he just had the Confederate flag up. And I shit you not, this is the first day of the Step Up Summer Program, the advancement program that we went to.
Wow.
The first day. So it's like to have these kind of things going on in 1856, continuing in 2007, and then just throughout the city, you felt it. It just felt like you're not welcomed here, but that school is there.
Right.
You know,
it's like that school was put there. We can't do nothing about it. So
we can't do nothing about it. It's not a state school, but legally we can't touch you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was controlled by the AME Church.
So did you guys, while you were on campus, did you go off campus often?
The cast that had cars, yeah. The cast that knew people with cars, definitely. Other than that, it was a lot of on campus if you lived on campus.
Okay.
And, you know, really to that point, you wanted to leave campus just because our campus was super small, but you really were playing with fate.
Right. You felt, even though the campus was small, you felt safer on campus.
You felt safer on campus around your own.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And like I remember there was this girl, she got into an argument with her dude, and she took off running or walking, one or the other, out in the cornfields. Yes, there was like a 3-4 mile of cornfield before we got to civilization. This is how ducked off the school was. But she took off in the cornfields, and when I tell you the search party was something ridiculous because of where we were, shit, even when I was in Step Up, and we were grown as hell playing hide and seek.
That's the best times, man.
And it really was, bro. And it was dummy dark outside. Everybody that was in the Step Up program was playing hide and seek. One of the girls, no one can find. She was, A1 hide and seeker. But again, that mindset of where you are, you're like, yo, where the fuck is she at?
Right.
And it went from all fun and games to a legit search party. By the time, somebody found her, she was cheeks and teeth because she was like, hi, none of y'all niggas found me. But you got people crying like, I didn't know what happened to you, the whole nine. And, I say all that to say it's a different level of pride that you have being a graduate of an HBCU.
Gotcha.
So to know that somebody feels this was an institution of choice, the reason that these HBCUs were built was by choice, that HBCUs were built as an affordable alternative to PWI, which is primarily white institution.
Right.
It made me something else, but that's how I've always seen it. The fact that you bring in somebody like this to give me the last address from the school,
arguably one of the most important addresses.
One of the most important. If I choose not to go back for my master's, this is the last person that's going to speak to me when it comes down to my academic career. Nah, man, I ain't feeling that. I'd have did the exact same thing. I'd have turned around or something. You know what I mean? So I completely understand, and I applaud every last one of them that exercise their right of freedom of speech, exercise their right to protest, because that's exactly what it was. They didn't turn back around until she bounced.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. And for that other, you said he was a president of the school? Yeah,
Uncle Edison.
You can eat a bowl of dicks, Uncle Edison.
Easily. But you know what's crazy? I saw something earlier about that when I was looking up the stories, and apparently he has like a history of just fuck shit. Like he's pissed off a lot of the staff there. He shits on a lot of the students there. He hasn't really been the best president.
So basically, it sounds like he's the head of this school, but he's really trying to walk that line of standing grace of this upper white administration.
Yeah, he wants to be seen as some of the quote unquote greats when it comes down to being the president of a prestigious university.
Gotcha.
He wants to be in that conversation, and
I guess in his eyes, the only way he feels that he can accomplish that is by
kissing ass of white people.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no other explanation of how you can come across doing that other than kissing ass. Because as a president of a university, we're not even going to say HBCU. As a president of a university, you are in tune to what's going on in the world, because something that's going on in the world can directly affect you straight up.
Absolutely.
You know, and you got to make moves to how the world is making the moves. You know who the hell Betsy DeVos is, and you know what she said. You know what she's about. You know what administration she's a part of. Love and Politics is in the building. This was the person. Yo, you're going to make the commencement speech. And then also on the flip side, and this is an unfortunate thing because we do have a lot of the people in the older generation that do this. What if that was just a payola situation? What if they said, we're going to give you this amount of money if you let Betsy DeVos speak, do the commencement speech?
It very well could have been.
Because think about it. When you think of HBCUs, first thing that come out is Howard, Morehouse, Spelman. You know what I'm saying? You think of the well-known ones.
Absolutely.
Bethune-Cookman is in there, but it's not in your top 5 dead or alive.
Right.
So the fact that Bethune-Cookman is the one that ended up picking her up, it's like, So who else did you go to do this commencement speech? Like you found the most crooked president of an HBCU to basically clear your name, because that's all she was truly trying to do.
Trying to save face, yep.
It's trying to save face, exactly, from the stupid shit she said beforehand.
And she's going to continue to say stupid shit.
Exactly. It's going to continue, especially now that she has a reason to talk about niggas. Oh, it's over. But I truly feel there's no logical explanation outside of they getting something off top for this.
Right. That's very plausible. Very. I can definitely see that being the case.
And a lot of university presidents do some stupid shit for some bread.
I would not be surprised. I mean, I have no judgment towards anybody that continues education. I mean, I got a love-hate relationship for it, but when you hear stories like this and you see the inner workings of things that go on that aren't so great, it makes it very hard for you to appreciate going to college. You know what I mean? Especially being black, I think even if a historically black college is not your first choice, you got that kind of in there.
You at least considered it.
You know what I mean? And then when you see stuff like this going on, like, wait a minute, the president of the school, the president who's supposed to help hold these other black people down, is really
leader.
Doing that?
You're my leader.
It makes it very hard to consider schools like that. Very hard to consider going to a college. You know what I mean? She can eat a bowl of dicks, put it that way.
Easily, if she's not already doing that.
She could be.
She probably did that to really get on stage. Maybe that was the payment. Maybe Uncle Edison didn't have, he never had a white girl before, and was like, you know what, Betsy, what's cracking? I see you got a little flexibility where you were on that couch. I'm trying to see what's good. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust them niggas over there. That's all I'm saying.
I was watching Boondocks the other night. I love that show.
Man, but shout out to Uncle Edison, man. You're really a piece of shit for that one. And again, my only knowledge of getting degrees came through the mail.
Yeah, I thought they were mailed.
How you gonna threaten me with some shit I already know? Like, we're gonna mail your degree. Nigga, and the sun gonna come up in 6 hours. What you trying to say? You ain't telling me nothing new.
Right, this ain't nothing new.
What was it? You ain't said nothing slick to a can of oil. Trust me, that's not too much of a threat. I may leave. If that's the threat,
Right.
oh, really?
Really?
Well, I'm out.
That's it? I came here for my mama anyway.
Exactly. I did this for her. I don't even want this degree. Just go from there.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was an hilarious L on his part, and I'm glad people aren't looking at Bethune-Cookman as the sole reason for her coming to speak.
Right.
I'm glad they're putting it all on Edison Jackson, Uncle Edison, as I'm going to refer to him from now on. On to another L.
Meek?
No, surprisingly not. Not even Ja. I think this is the new king of the L's.
But is he really the king? I feel like he's been getting L's every 3 months to where he's not even the king. I think it's like a continuing L. You know how like if you're not paying attention and you're typing and you talk, let's say you're typing something up and you start having a side conversation, then you look over, you got a whole bunch of L's typed because you didn't held the button. I think that's what he kind of
You talking about like that Snickers commercial where he's like leaning on the computer?
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay,
but it's just L's.
Somebody's leaning on his computer and it's all L's.
Exactly.
Well, somebody needs to give the author of Bow Wow's life Snickers because obviously
he's hungry.
He's hungry, and he don't act the same when he's hungry. As everyone has already seen, Bow Wow posted a photo. I'm actually going to read the excerpt from it. He posted a photo of a luxury car in front of a plane, suggesting he was at DeKalb Peachtree Airport in Georgia. The caption on the photo said, "Travel Day, NYC press run for growing up hip hop. Let's go. Hyped up. About to get on this private jet." This ain't part of the quote. About to get on this private plane. About to go do these runs in New York because I'm Bow Wow. I'm also Shad Moss. Respect me. Mm-hmm. Put some respect on my name. Definitely. I made Bounce with me. Mm-hmm. And Ghetto Girl. Mm-hmm. At Al_Key with the Twitter handle Osama Been Drinking, which is kind of, you're cutting it kind of close, right? Having that kind of name on a plane, like, bro, it's too soon. I know he's dead, but there's also ISIS. So he catches a picture of Bow Wow. I think they said he was in like the 34th row or something like that of a commercial flight, and he said, "So this guy, Lil Bow Wow, is on my flight to NY." But on Instagram, he posted a picture of a private jet caption, "Traveling to NY today." Shaking my head.
Now, see, if I'm Bow Wow, I would have turned and said, "God damn it, I said I'm on a private jet, and that means we own a private jet. You want to take pictures? Exactly. We both on this private flight."
I ain't take pictures like, private jet setting with Bow Wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Going from there. But you know what, though? Even that wouldn't have worked.
Nah.
Because it would have made more sense if this was just something that Bow Wow had in the chamber, the picture of the private jet with the luxury cars in front of it and all that other good stuff. But oh no.
Maybe at a time when he could definitely
when he could actually do something. I mean? And he probably, and let me say this, because Bow Wow seems to find a way to stay in media relevance somehow. You know what I'm saying? Remember when he caught the L when he was hosting the pre-show for the Grammys?
Yeah.
When he said 3, 2, 1, it was still a minute 30 before the Grammys start. I think it was the Grammys. Was it the Grammys?
It wasn't. I think it was MTV Awards or some shit like that.
I think it was the Grammys.
It
was something.
It was
some kind of prestige that I just didn't understand Bow Wow being at.
Yeah,
but he's doing what he's supposed to be doing to make his rounds in media. So I salute him for that. Same thing I said about Yachty. Salute your business. Do what you got to do. Now, when it comes down to the L's, I'm not saying he's probably never flown, in the Learjet. He's never been in a luxury car, but except for having a picture in the chamber, he posted a stock photo from the Fort Lauderdale Limousine Company. Yep. I can Google search this.
Yeah, I can find this. I can use this if I wanted to.
If I truly wanted to, I can use this. You can move the picture. Matter of fact, you can move the picture from Instagram and just put it into the Google search. You ain't even got to type in nothing. Just put it in the Google search. It will pull up exactly where that photo came from. In this age of technology, Shad Moss, what were you thinking, sir?
He wasn't.
At all.
I don't think he thought he was going to get caught. But then I don't even understand how you can think that if it'd be different if maybe he did that and he posted, it was like a text he sent out to somebody. You know what I mean? Bro, you posted this on your Instagram.
I don't know how you can think you're not going to get caught when we have pictures of Officer William Roberts, aka Rick Ross. He thought them shits were destroyed.
Exactly.
I don't know how he thought he wasn't gonna get caught when there are multiple pictures and footage of Lil Wayne and Baby kissing. Shit doesn't just go away. It just kind of
it's there.
It's there. No matter where it's at, it's there. This stuff doesn't go away. So how can you truly feel that no one's gonna figure out, and no one's gonna figure out this is stock footage, bro? It's stock footage. You can accidentally slip up on some stock footage and be like,
this looks eerily familiar.
Didn't I just see this on now one thing, before I continue to going about Bow Wow, one thing that kind of pissed me off about that dude that did it is he was trying to make it seem like he wasn't familiar with Bow Wow. We've seen videos of people not being familiar with Bow Wow that he's posted himself. But he was trying to make it seem like he wasn't too familiar with Bow Wow, like, so this guy, Lil Bow Wow, yada yada, blase blah. If you're not familiar with him, if you're not in tune to what he's doing, how did you see he posted that photo?
And why would you care enough?
To
even say, hey, he's on this plane but claiming this? You're not familiar with
no one Googles Lil Bow Wow ever. Only way you know what Bow Wow is doing is if you follow his social media. And I know people follow his social media just to catch his L's.
If you follow his social media or he does something like this where it's kind of hard not to See, you know, if he fucks up like this, so it's kind of hard not to know what the hell he's doing.
Exactly. You have to really be in tune with what he's doing to be like, he just posted this, but this happened. And how much you want to bet he didn't snap that picture out until after they got off the plane because he didn't really want that friction.
I believe it because I let's say now from Georgia, I don't know how long the flight is, but let's say hypothetically he put that picture out during that flight.
Like right before the flight, because Bow Wow was on his social media, obviously.
Right. And Bow Wow seen them. Wait a minute, this dude right behind me. Yeah,
he'd have looked at him like, who did that?
Right. I bet you afterwards he probably did that.
Now, one thing that getting back to Bow Wow, but I mean, really to close off of him, to me that was a cat move because you're trying to seem cool by outing Bow Wow, but you obviously know enough about Bow Wow and his L's that he's been taking. You know enough about him to be like, this guy saying he on a private jet, but he's sitting right here in row 34.
This is my shot.
You know
15 minutes.
You ain't got a perp. You know you have beware of dog.
It's my 15 minutes of fame. I'm around with it.
This is it right here.
Right
you know what's
here.
so crazy? It didn't even get popular off of him sharing it. Some celebrity, some verified guy on Twitter, he shared it.
Yeah.
And that's where it got big.
I will say that the challenges they had behind it
Are
have been
hysterical,
hilarious.
bruh.
Oh, man. Like the one where the dude is like taking a picture like he at the soccer game. That one wins to me.
Nah, the one that won to me that actually shocked me because I didn't know there was still any bad blood.
The Little Romeo joint.
Little Romeo. He took taking the picture next to the little palm tree joint. I'm in Hawaii. But that one was too funny.
I seen one where it was like a toy car in the shower, and they like washed it to make it look like it was at the car wash.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one.
Good too. I'm like, you guys got some photography skills.
Yeah, bros are creative on social media now. It's making a bunch of creative geniuses nowadays.
Yeah, man, I tell you, the internet is undefeated.
Undefeated. It's to this day the only thing to go without L's.
Yeah, it's literally Floyd Mayweather.
Easily. But no, that Romeo joint was too funny because it was like the last time we saw you was on the ICDC college commercial, rapping about ICDC. I don't know. Like
I seen somewhere that dude got like a single coming out featuring his dad.
Who else gonna feature on it?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone's jumping to feature.
I didn't realize
and that's
he would
the thing.
still be making music.
You're getting involved in this solely because you know it's gonna get traction.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure we probably got more followers than Lil Romeo at this point.
I would not be surprised.
But going back to my initial point, Bow was on Ebro in the morning, and he was explaining what happened. Here's what's not making enough sense to me. He was alluding to the fact that there's a method to his madness, and if he wants to know the reason behind him posting that, you have to tune into Grown Up Hip Hop ATL. So he was alluding to the fact that this may have been a troll.
Or was he doing it hoping not to get caught, but knew that if he did, somebody would ask him why, and he can generate the buzz to watch this particular show. It's a show, right? Grown Up Hip Hop is a show movie. So what if he was doing all this just to get more? He knew he probably was going to get caught, and then with getting caught, people were going to ask him, well, why'd you do this dumb shit? Maybe he did all this in hopes to get this interview with Ebro and hopes to promote this particular show.
He would have still got the interview. I'm pretty sure that the interview was set up for him to promote Growing Up Hip Hop ATL because it's going to be out, I want to say in like 2 weeks. It's going to be out pretty soon. He's already going on that media run. He was already on his way to New York. So who knows whether or not he was on the way to New York to do these string of interviews.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
I don't follow Bow Wow enough to know what interviews he was doing.
Right.
But when I saw he was speaking on it with Ebro, I'm like, okay, well, let me get some context for our show and find out what's good. So when he said that, there's a method to his madness and you got to tune into the show to find out what's up, it makes me think, if you don't mention anything about this flight on that show, then there is no method to your madness.
Exactly.
The only thing that you have is an L, and you have something in the chamber to be like, actually, if you watch the show on the 27th, you'll see exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm Bow Wow. Don't call me Bow Wow, though, because I'm Shad Moss. Growing Up Hip Hop ATL. Is he or is he not from Columbus?
I don't know. I don't know because I'm finding out it's a lot of people who weren't born in Atlanta that reps Atlanta. And I get it. Whatever you call home, you put your roots down, you know what I mean? Me personally, I feel like if a person is born somewhere, you know what I mean, and then they move somewhere else and that's where they've picked up basically majority of who they are, and that's where they can kind of call home. I get that. But in Bow Wow's case, brother, when you was making music and you was that dude, growing up, you were saying Columbus. So now that you're an adult,
exactly.
Now that you're an adult, you're claiming Atlanta. I don't know. But then again, I mean, would you? Granted, I don't think nobody's really going to watch this. But would you watch it more if it was called Growing Up Atlanta or Growing Up Columbus?
Honestly,
I mean, being real.
Honestly, people are going to watch it because it's reality TV.
Well, yeah, they're going to watch it.
It's reality TV and it's somewhat celebrity, so everybody's attracted to that.
True.
Think about it. People watch Love and Hip Hop LA, and it's nothing but has-beens on that show.
True. You're absolutely right. I agree with you on that. But I'm saying, would you watch it more or less if it had a Columbus hashtag?
It would depend. It would depend who's on. I don't watch any of that shit. Let me just say that right now.
So
I wouldn't watch any. It could have said Love and Hip Hop Mars. I wouldn't watch the shit.
For the people that do, they're going to be like, it's Atlanta. Maybe I got a chance of seeing some more people that I did listen to at one point, opposed to somebody. I don't know nobody coming out of Columbus making music besides him.
Very true.
So I think maybe that's probably why. And then now he claims he's a Falcons fan. At one point, I could have swore he was claiming Browns at one point. I don't know. I don't care enough to know. He just took an L, and it's funny. The challenges were funny. The internet
I remember
is undefeated.
when he was trying to claim the Hawks for like half a second, and then all of a sudden he was back to being a Cavs fan. I think it was the same year that LeBron announced his return that he was claiming the Hawks.
What's funny is Bow Wow has claimed so much different shit. What's funny is at one point this dude was like, "I'm at the Hawks game." Right? They had a bye week that week. Not the Hawks. I'm sorry, not the Hawks game.
It was Falcons. Right.
Say I'm at the Falcons game, and they had a bye week that week. So he's good for doing shit like this, man. Hey, if this is what's giving him relevancy, by all means, go for it.
You gotta chase it. I mean, but you know what's so sad is that next step is going to be a sex tape.
I'm surprised one hasn't already came out.
That's going to be the next. Now you remember there were rumors saying that he had one with not Sierra but Russell Simmons' daughter, Angela Simmons.
Yeah.
There was rumors saying he had one with her.
He probably did, but you messing with a Simmons, that shit's gonna get put to bed.
No, I said that tape gonna disappear, and you might disappear if you address it straight up.
Yeah, but I mean, hey,
one of the godfathers of hip hop, he ain't playing that shit.
When you think about it, man, Bow Wow has taken down a lot of the bad ones.
He took down some top tier.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
I would not be surprised if there is a sex tape rolling around here.
But who is he dealing with now, though? I think everyone's starting to realize his irrelevancy in his relevance.
Don't care. I don't care. And to be quite honest, we need to really switch up the word irrelevant because we're talking about him on this here show.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's insignificant. He's insignificant, but he's definitely, I won't say he's far from irrelevant, but he's insignificant because if he's trending on a social platform, being the biggest platform
he's
in
relevant
Twitter,
as hell.
He's relevant as hell.
Definitely.
So he's more insignificant than he is irrelevant.
Very true. Very, very true.
You know, so.
You have learned from the Grimy Brown Giant. But no, it's funny. It's really, really funny. It's almost like he didn't escape being a regular dude because this is something that you see regular everyday Joes do. They'll stunt. They'll stunt for the gram all day. They'll stunt for the book all day until somebody pulls their card. You have no choice but to believe that this is what this person is doing. But when you're an insignificant, as you put it, an insignificant, relevant artist or socialite or whatever you want to really constitute Bow Wow as right now, because he ain't putting out music, so we can't say rapper.
Right.
When you're in that status quo, there really is no faking the funk no more. Everything that you do is at the public eye, and internet is so swift. We're gonna figure out whether or not you bullshitting us. You know what I mean?
Real quick.
It's too easy to figure out, especially if you got somebody paying attention.
Yeah, you're gonna know within the first 10 minutes.
Shout out to the reigning king of L's at this point. Somebody give the master of his life a Snickers, and maybe we can get Beware of Dog 2. And we'll go from there. Kev, where can they find you at, bro? Other than CCD.
They can't find me there. They never find me there.
Tootsie Rose inbox.
They never find me there either. On Twitter, _HollowKev. Same with the Instagram. That's where I am at. Don't forget to follow the Instagram page.
Yep.
Same with the Twitter page. Follow that. Los, where you at?
At Big Los UTC. Also, make sure y'all hit beatnetworkonline.com to get all of the blogs and info about the shows. And
merch.
And the merch. You can go directly to the merch site if you like. Just hit that /merch. Again, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. You can find me on Snapchat, Big Los. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of us there. I've always had a Snapchat. Stop that. And I snap.
You do. You're right. You do.
And
I don't know why I feel
so
like
ready
that
to talk
was
shit
new to me. Yeah.
It's the separation from Tootsie Roll. It's getting to you mentally at this point. It's cool.
You need to stop that.
I'm just saying.
You need to stop that.
Hey, listen, separation makes the heart grow fonder, bro.
Remember, 8 bodies. 8 bodies.
Yep, make sure y'all check in next week when we have Rich Murphy on the show. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. Yeah. I'm so excited for that. To everybody, be your own boss. If you have that idea, if you have that next level plan, put it to action. You know, put your feet on the floor and get going just the same way that this dude did, and everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to be happy. Make sure y'all vote for the consequence of the loser.
Yeah, do
for
that.
The head-to-head award showdown.
Do that. Look out for those categories.
Yes, sir.
To pick from.
Through Survey Monkey.
Yeah, look out for that. And look out for next week's episode. It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one. Of course, keep checking out Back to the Classics. Keep checking out Like Water for Chocolate. The whole nine. It's gonna be a good time this year. It's gonna be a good time this year. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your participation. And as always, it's Big Los.
It's Hollywood Kev.
It's the Noize.